Hi, this is Danny Brown with Myriad at My Home Group, and this is Ask a Lender. I am joined by Garrett Sirkvenik and John Emmons, and today we are going to cover the escrow process. So first off, guys, what is an escrow?
To put it in its simplest form, escrow by definition is simply an agreement between two parties that's held by a third party. So in the case of buying a home, it would be an agreement between the seller and purchaser of the home that's being held by the title company. So you'll hear it used a lot in the purchase process, but in terms of mortgages specifically or lending, you'll hear the term escrow as it relates to things like your property taxes and homeowner's insurance with your mortgage payment. So if somebody asks you if you have an escrow account or you'd like to have an escrow account, they're simply asking if you want to include your taxes and insurance in your mortgage payment.
Gotcha. And so why is it called the escrow period, and how long is that time frame usually look like?
So with a purchase, typically, escrow is going to be anywhere from 30 to 45 days. That's something that you're going to set in your initial contract, in your purchase contract between, you and the seller of the property. You'll hear the term close of escrow. So that will be the date that everything should be wrapped up. Documents are with title. You're sitting down at closing, signing, and taking title and the keys to the home.
So why does that time frame take 30 to 45 days? What are you guys doing during that time frame?
Good question. So more than anything, it would be the underwriting process, the lender doing their due diligence, ensuring, qualifications. Even though you're pre-approved up front and we go through that process, there's still a lot of things that have to be done throughout the time that you're getting the loan. And one of those things is obviously title. So we're waiting on title to come back. We're waiting on appraisal to be done. Inspection period is obviously important when purchasing a home. So those are the things that have to fall in line for that 30 to 40 day period.
And so when I do a mortgage, you're my lender, and you've mentioned several times the word underwriter. Who or what is an underwriter?
So an underwriter is an employee of the lender, and they are there to basically do their due diligence and make sure that you are properly qualified for the loan. They are verifying your income, reviewing your credit report, making sure that everything is up to snuff, and that you have the repayment ability to pay back the loan on time and in the time that it's set for.
During the escrow process, is there anything that a buyer can end up doing that will delay the process?
The biggest thing for a borrower or a buyer is in making sure the process goes smoothly and quickly is really just returning requests for documents and things like that the lender's going to ask for. One thing that we always talk about is, the process of a loan is a lot like, a renovation of a house. Sometimes you don't know what you're getting into until the walls come down, and so that can happen throughout the process of a loan where once we're in process, we can see extra things we might need, or the underwriter might ask for a couple things. So responding to that as quickly as possible is obviously the biggest thing. There are things that are out of the buyer's hands in some cases, like inspections, things like that can cause delays. But for the most part, just responsiveness on a buyer's part is going to help it move along.
Tell me about the appraisal process. Why don't homes appraise? Who gets to pick the appraiser? I hate it. It's not a fair market economy if you have somebody dictating the value of something. So explain to me the appraisal process, who gets to pick what, who pays for what.
So as of now, because of regulations, the process of selecting an appraiser is not done obviously by the borrower or by the seller. It's done by a company called an AMC or an appraisal management company. So they're the ones that put the order out for the appraisal to be done, and that's how the appraiser is selected. So unfortunately, the process sometimes isn't the best, and it's not always fair, but they are an unrelated third party. They don't have any vested interest in the actual transaction, so unfortunately we have to go by what they say.
During the escrow process, this will be the last question, but during the escrow process, is it possible for the loan program that you're in to change in the middle of it?
Yeah, absolutely. So in some cases it's necessary, whether there's qualification issues or something comes up that we need to change the loan in order to make it work, that can definitely happen, but it's not something that should ever happen without the borrower or the client knowing. Obviously that's something that your loan officer is communicating to you, but that's certainly something that we do if necessary to make a loan work and review that with clients to make sure it still works for them.
And I lied, one more question. Are there certain things that buyers shouldn't do during the escrow process that could actually affect them in getting the mortgage at the end?
Absolutely. Don't go out and buy a Ferrari tomorrow. Don't go out and open up any new debt. I understand that you're getting the itch. You've got a new property that you're about to close on. You maybe want to open up a new credit card for some new furniture. Any new debt that pops up, the lender's going to find out about. You're now going to have to provide documentation on it. It's going to slow the overall process. So if you can, wait the 30 days, 45 days, whatever it is, keep your credit as is. Don't do anything crazy.
Before you do anything financially, you should talk to you guys
your lawyer.
first.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. This has been another episode of Ask a Lender. I'm Danny Brown with Myriad at My Home Group, and we'll see you in the next one.